Teaching 34. 1. My beloved people, do not await better times to reveal this message to humanity. For another time will not come which is more appropriate than this one. 2. Open your eyes to reality and cease to dream about the vanities of the world. Understand that your mission is to make my doctrine known throughout all the pathways of the earth. 3. Here among the multitudes I reveal the future messengers, the new apostles, the laborers who must never tire in the fulfillment of their mission. 4. Some will go by way of the east, and others I will send by way of the west. The different languages will not be an obstacle to spreading my word. 5. The sword of light, love, and justice which exists in my doctrine will open roads, destroy walls of ignorance, and erase boundaries. Everything will remain prepared for the unification of all nations. 6. At the beginning of the struggle, some will joyfully accept the Marian Trinitarian spiritualist doctrine. On the other hand, others will reject it and persecute you because they will see my doctrine as a threat to their earthly power and to their erroneous interpretations. But verily I say to you that it will be as if they attempted with the palms of their hands to prevent the sun from giving its light. 7. I must warn you that whoever rejects this word will have rejected me, and whoever accepts it will have accepted me. For in its essence I have manifested myself to men in this time. My spirit is present in it. That is why I say to you that whoever receives my word will recognize my voice. Open the doors of his heart to me, and have me within. 8. My justice has offered you a beautiful opportunity to make restitution for, and to pay off your debts. Do not waste even one single day of the life which I have entrusted to you. 9. You are the prodigal son who returned repentant to his father's house, and I have received you with love to have you regain your spiritual heritage. 10. Among those who come before me weeping, I know the ones who are truly repentant, those who weep over their faults with tears of sincere remorse and who ask me for an opportunity to make restitution. They weep not for themselves, but for having offended the Father. On the other hand, there are those who apparently feel sorrow for having offended me, who cry, make premises, and even swear not to sin again. However, at the same time that they make promises, they are asking for new earthly goods. Those are the ones who will readily depart from the Father's house. 11. If they succeed in receiving from me what they seek, they proceed to waste it. If they do not succeed in getting what they want, they will speak disrespectfully about me. They believe that in this humble path there are only thorns, not knowing that the one they have elected is the most uncertain, the roughest, and the most hazardous. They believe that by giving themselves completely to the pleasures of the world, they can increase their wealth and thus diminish their necessities, not understanding that by rejecting the gentle weight of a spiritual cross, they have thrown upon their shoulders a great material burden, under whose weight they will find themselves oppressed. 12. How few are those who aspire to live in the paradise of peace, light, and harmony, lovingly obeying the divine laws. 13. Humanity has traveled over a very long path, and it still prefers to eat the forbidden fruits, which only accumulate sorrow and disappointment in mankind's life on earth. The forbidden fruits are those which, while being good because they have been created by God, can become harmful to man if he has not properly prepared himself, or if he consumes them excessively. 14. Man and woman take the fruit of life without preparation, unaware of their responsibility before the Creator when they bring new beings to incarnate on earth. 15. The scientist cuts the fruit from the tree of science with disrespect, not listening beforehand to the voice of his conscience through which my law speaks to him to tell him that all the fruits of the tree of wisdom are good, and therefore, whoever takes them should do so only when inspired to benefit his fellow beings. 16. These two examples which I have given to you teach you why humanity does not know the love nor the peace of that inner paradise which man, through his obedience to the law, should eternally carry in his heart. 17. I have come to teach the sinners, the disobedient, the ungrateful, and the arrogant to help you find that spiritual paradise. To have you understand that you are gifted with a spirit, that you have a conscience, that you can reason and perfectly evaluate that which is good and that which is bad, and to show you the path which will lead you to the paradise of peace, wisdom, infinite love, immortality, glory, and eternity. 18. I speak to you who are sinners because the righteous already live in the spiritual paradise. The remaining beings who lack spirits, and therefore do not have a conscience, delight in their paradise, which is nature, where they live in perfect obedience and harmony with all creation. 19. I have come today to illuminate the path along which you should evolve and find me at the end. I do not come to force you. However, I do forewarn you that if you are deaf to this call, it will not be long before you come by your own free will, seeking the path of salvation. Then you will flee from the horrors of your inhumanity, your arrogance, and your pride. 20. I do not come to judge you in a harsh manner. It is you who give your faults that deserve punishment. 21. O people, I leave the essence of my word in your hearts so that you may nourish yourselves spiritually. For your hearts are like flowers, and their fragrance the essence of the love which I have placed there. Do not allow the flowers to wither, for they would soon quickly lose their aroma. The flowers of your gardens are delicate, but your hearts are more delicate, and their divine essence even more so. 22. After 1950, you will no longer receive my word through these individuals whom you have called spokesmen or interpreters. Some will depart from this earth for the spiritual valley. Others will remain to receive the first inspirations, which will be the beginning of the communication of spirit to spirit. 23. When that communication begins to develop among you, you will truly begin to analyze and to understand the doctrine which you are now receiving. At the same time, you will know how to separate my essence from all the imperfections which the spokesman may have mixed in with my word. 24. Now I ask you, are you content to be the poor of the earth, but rich in spirit? Or do you prefer the pleasures of the world to the knowledge of eternal life? I bless you, for in your hearts you are telling me, Lord, nothing is comparable to the glory of listening to your word. 25. I am giving you a new message in this era, the Third Testament. Many have been the witnesses to this manifestation. But truly I say to you that you will not be the ones who will come to understand the full meaning of what I have revealed to you, or will you appreciate the importance that this message contains. 26. Often, when I have given you a teaching, you have interpreted it erroneously because, while I have spoken of spiritual knowledge, you have given it a material meaning. Other generations will come after you who are more evolved spiritually. On studying the teachings contained in these revelations, they will tremble with spiritual emotion. At other times, they will delight in the peaceful tranquility of my word, and on other occasions, they will marvel in my teachings. Then they will say, how is it possible that the actual witnesses of this word did not become aware of its meaning, of its greatness, and of its light? It will not be the first time for this to happen. In the second era, when I also spoke to the hearts of men, they did not understand me, for they only lived for and thought about the world and their material bodies. 27. In the second era, I pronounced some last words from the cross while my physical body was in a state of agony. Among my last phrases, there was one which was not understood during those moments or even later. My God, why have you forsaken me? 28. Because of those words, many became confused or doubtful, thinking that it was a moment of weakness and that I had faltered. But they had not taken into account that that was not the last phrase, that after that one I still pronounce others which revealed strength and enlightenment. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit, and all is accomplished. 29. Now that I have returned to shed light on your confusion and to clarify what you have called mysteries, I say to you, when I was on the cross, the agony was long and bloody. The body of Jesus, infinitely more sensitive than that of all men, suffered a prolonged agony, and death would not come. Jesus had already fulfilled his mission in the world. He had already said the last word and taught the last lesson. Then that tortured body, that torn flesh, on feeling the absence of the Spirit, painfully asked the Lord, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? That was the sweet and sorrowful complaint of the wounded lamb to his shepherd. It was proof that Christ, the Word, truly became man in Jesus and that his suffering was real. 30. How can you attribute these words to Christ when he is united eternally to the Father? Now you know that it was a painful moaning from the body of Jesus, wounded and tortured by the blindness of men. But when the caress of the Lord rested upon that tortured flesh, Jesus went on to speak, and his words were, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. All is accomplished. 31. When will you speak to me in that manner, humanity? When will you breathe forth that sweet complaint which is not of criticism, nor doubt, nor lack of faith, but rather proof of love for the Father, manifesting to him that you want to feel him close in the supreme hour? Meditate on each one of my phrases, for I am the truth which was promised to you. 32. Now that I am teaching you, I am using ordinary and illiterate individuals, for scientists and wise men have denied me. I have also sought out sinners to convert them and send them to give testimony of my truth. These children of mine, through whom I am manifesting myself, should become worthy of this grace. They need to become enlightened by this doctrine, which they will share with others, in order to become fully aware of their mission and to know that they will only be believed by their fellow men when they give examples and practice good deeds. 33. This time of teaching will be favorable for the preparation of the multitudes. 34. My doctrine is the pure and crystalline water of the river of life. With it you will purify yourselves and achieve the transformation which will make you worthy of calling yourselves disciples of the Holy Spirit. Let my word prepare your hearts, and truly I say to you that from them the good seed will sprout. Educate your spirits and elevate your understanding by listening to me, and your deeds, words, and thoughts will radiate my truth. 35. Truly you are not the only ones who will give testimony of me, for all of creation is a living proof of my truth. But in this work you have a mission to fulfill and a debt to repay to yourselves. For truly I say to you that you owe nothing to me, but rather to yourselves. 36. If you do not give testimony of your Lord, I will give it, but you will weep bitterly for not having been close to the Master in the hour of battle. 37. Do you want to know how you will succeed in having your brethren accept your testimony as truthful? Be sincere with yourselves. Never say that you possess what you do not have, nor attempt to reveal what you have not received. Teach only what you know. Testify only to that which you have seen. And if they ask you something which you cannot answer, be silent, but never lie. Again I say to you, let your yes always be yes, and your no always be no. Then you will be faithful to the truth, nor should you swear. For whoever speaks the truth does not need vows to be believed, since he carries light in his deeds. Let the one who has been untruthful swear, for he will need to resort to the name of God to support his words once the moment arrives for others to believe what he has said. Do not swear by God, or by Mary, or by your parents, or by your life. Again I say to you that your deeds will be those which will give testimony of your words, and therein will give testimony of me. 38. If they believe you when you are speaking the truth, blessed are those who believe you. If they deny you, hurt you, or ridicule you for saying the truth, leave the cause to me, for the cause of truth is mine. Then I will defend you. Neither attempt to disguise truth with a veil of falsehood, for your judgment will be great. Do you not know of that great temple of Jerusalem where century after century men entered in search of strength and wisdom? It was great while men who entered it were able to find peace. But when hypocrisy, falsehood, and greed overtook that temple, its veil was torn, and later there was not a single stone left of that building. 39. Once again I tell you to begin to be sincere with yourselves and not to try to deceive yourselves. That is to say, begin to love truth. 40. The world that will disappear is the world of wickedness which you have created. It is a world where the strong oppress the weak, from which even the innocence of children has fled, where parents reject their children and children reject their parents. It is a world in which the most sacred principles and institutions have been violated and disrespected by men, and one in which men, instead of loving one another as brothers, kill each other. 41. In order for this new Babel to disappear, it is necessary that its wickedness be cut at the root as an evil weed. The pain will be great, but the impure will purify themselves through that suffering, and the blind will open their eyes. Death will stop many in their path, not to exterminate them, but rather to lead them to the true light. 42. Nothing will be left of humanity's evil deeds. Upon the ruins of your past, I will make a new world rise like a great kingdom where humanity is like an extended family that lives in peace, loves, feels, and thinks about my law of love. 43. New generations will populate the earth. They will reap the fruits of the experience, including the spiritual and material evolution which their ancestors have left, for they will select all the good fruits from the past. 44. A truly spiritual worship will arise, replacing the imperfect manner of worship that has been practiced in the past. Also, there will arise a new science that will pursue brotherhood, well-being, and peace among humanity. 45. The division among men will disappear, as well as the conflicts which have separated them and created dialects and languages for each nation. When harmony begins to shine in the world, everyone will feel the need to be understood in only one language. Verily I say to you that charity toward one another will facilitate this work, for it will be based on my mandate that says to you, love one another. 46. How can it be right for humans within their species not to understand each other when even animals of the same species, though from different regions, understand each other? 47. Become united with love inspired by your Father, and He, who is the Alpha and the Omega of all creation, will inspire you in the universal language. 48. Rejoice, rejoice in my word. It transcends the different languages that exist on earth, and it is beyond your beginning and your end. If you have marveled over the extensive and inexhaustible form with which I have spoken to you through the lips of my spokesman, be aware that they have been inspired to speak by only a small beam of my divine light. 49. You ask me, Lord, if you have chosen us to be witnesses of this manifestation, why is it that you have not spared us from the sufferings and ordeals of the earth? To which I reply, it is necessary for you to experience the same suffering that your brothers are enduring, although to a lesser degree, in order to understand their afflictions. 50. If I have told you that all of men's pride and evil will be destroyed in this time, do you not believe that in you there is also something to destroy, to cut down, or to redeem? 51. You are blessed, but at the same time, truly made to suffer by trials. But if pain keeps you alert, you must consider that it is only one drop of the bitterness that other nations drink. On feeling pain, your heart feels moved to pray, and through prayer, you intuitively recognize one of the missions which has brought this multitude to earth. 52. Pray, my children, with thoughts of light, of peace, and of brotherhood, and those prayers will not be lost in space. Rather, their essence will keep vibrating spiritually and will lead you to the hearts of those for whom you have prayed. But in order for your prayer be felt by your brothers, do not take my word for granted. Continue to practice the same humility and enthusiasm that you had when you first heard my teachings. For a day will come when you will feel yourself deeply shaken, and this will be the day in which I will speak to you for the last time in this form. 53. Multitudes, why do you believe that I call you in this time? Could it be to simply have you heal your pain, or have you recover your lost peace? No, my people, if I came to help you discover the true life, to strengthen your faith, to return a smile to your faces and strength to your bodies, it was because I wanted to prepare you so that you might be able to stand up to the battle. But I see that many, thinking only of themselves, attend my teaching only to find peace for their spirits, not wanting to know anything about the mission that awaits them. Others, having received what they desire, depart without becoming interested in studying and understanding the meaning of my doctrine. 54. You have all been called to take part in this work, and for that reason I have given these teachings to this multitude so that it might retain at least one of my phrases in its heart. 55. My teaching tells you that if you were not to spread these teachings among humanity, the rocks would speak to give testimony of my truth and of the time in which you live. But do not wait for the rocks to be the ones who speak, for they will do so by making the earth tremble, causing violent ocean storms or the eruption of volcanoes. 56. It will be better if you become prepared in time, so that when this world finds itself destroyed by plagues, strange illnesses, and all types of suffering, you who are scattered throughout all the pathways of the earth might take my tender and comforting word to the hearts of men, coming as a soft breeze to those who have endured great suffering. 57. Refrain from being inactive and inattentive, and take advantage of the precious time which you enjoy today. For you do not know if in coming times you will have moments of quiet and peace to study and meditate on my word. 58. Pray like good disciples and fill your hearts with noble purposes. Do not forget that I have not come to distinguish among you by races, classes, or religions, so that wherever you go, you might feel as though you were in your own country and thus consider anyone you meet as your brother, regardless of his race, for that is what he really is. 59. I brought you this word and had you hear it in your language. But I give you the mission of later translating it into other languages in order that it might be known by all. 60. In this manner you will begin to build the true Tower of Israel, the one which will spiritually unite all nations into one, the one which will unite all men in that divine, unchangeable, and eternal law, which in the world you came to know through the lips of Jesus when he told you, love one another. 61. Analyze my word until you are certain of its purity and its truth. Only in that way will you be able to remain strong and firm when confronting materialistic ideas which threaten the spirit. For materialism is death. It is darkness. It is a prison and poison to the spirit. Never exchange the light and the freedom of your spirit for earthly bread or miserly material possessions. 62. Truly I say to you that whoever trusts in my law and perseveres in faith to the end will never lack material nourishment. And during the moments of communication with my spirit, you will always receive the bread of eternal life through my infinite charity. My peace be with you.